Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. You are the cause and the effect of everything in your life. If you want different effects, you have to create a different outcome. That starts by choosing, deciding, thinking about what you really want and not rejecting it, not saying it's impossible, but actually going after what you desire. There is a law of cause and effect. Every cause has its effect, every effect its cause. There's no such thing as chance. Everything happens according to law. Nothing in the entire universe ever happens unless it occurs according to universal law. Nothing ever escapes the law. It is impossible for the human mind to conceive of starting a new chain of causation for the simple reason that every effect must have a cause, and in turn, that cause must have an effect. Thus, we have the perpetual, never-ending cycle of cause and effect. Ralph Waldo Emerson called the law of cause and effect the law of laws. You are of course very interested in results, your physical health, your relationships, the respect you earn, your material income. You must concentrate on the cause, and the effect will automatically take care of itself. That's how the law works. Here are some affirmations that can help you focus on causes. For mental and physical health, I maintain a balanced diet and exercise mentally and physically every day. You know that if you want to be healthy, active, strong, you don't focus on worry, doubt, fear, illness, and you certainly don't carry on old habits of smoking, drinking, overeating, laying on the couch. You know that if you want to maintain a healthy body and a healthy mind, you have to nourish your mind and your body. So you could say, I maintain a balanced diet and exercise mentally and physically every day. Or you could say, I am so happy and grateful. I am healthy, I am active, I am strong. And as you say these words, you could say them out loud to yourself. You could repeat them over and over. This could be a mantra that you say while you're walking. And it becomes, you could say it so often, it becomes part of the mindless chatter in your mind, but your subconscious mind is always listening. And therefore, it takes notice. It starts looking for ways to prove, to show you evidence that you are strong and healthy, that you are mentally and physically healthy. And so you'll decide, oh, instead of turning on the TV, I'll grab a good book. Instead of taking the car to the store, I'll walk there and back. You just start to do things differently, and then you cause a new effect to show up in your life. For relationships, I maintain close contact with all my loving and meaningful relationships. You know, if you have the attitude that somebody hurt you or hurt your feelings, rather than waiting for them to apologize, you send them love in your mind. You just sit quietly, you get yourself into a state of well-being, a state of I love life and life loves me, a state of peace and joy and happiness, giving thanks for everything in your life and sending love, especially to three people who bother you. Maybe there's only one, maybe you're having a problem with your own thinking. Just send out love. As you radiate love, you change your state of being, you become more at ease, you start to attract more good, more love, more joy, more respect, more of every good that you want. Send love in your heart, in your mind. Think of your loved ones, think of them as healthy, happy, joyful. Maybe you visualize being together at a celebration or just being together intimately with one person. Whoever you want to establish a better relationship with, have a mantra. I maintain close contact with all my loving and meaningful relationships. The energy that you send out through your thought vibration, through just sending love, these are not invisible. I mean, your energy is invisible, but it feels powerful. You can add more and more power to it by concentrating, by establishing a picture in your mind of what you really want, what you want in your healthy mind and body, what do you want in your relationships, what do you want for material income, what are you going to do with it? You're not thinking about a bag of money, you're thinking about how you can change your world, have an easier, loving relationship, enjoy your work more. As you think about what that would look like, what that would feel like, you start to get ideas of doing things differently, and then you cause different effects. You might say, I treat everyone with the utmost respect. I find good in everything. You know, if something is really bad, there is a law of polarity. There must be something really good coming. There must be something really good in a situation that seems really bad. The world has changed because people decided they weren't going to put up with certain ways of doing things and created better ways. As you get quiet and think about what you want, ideas come to you. As you take action, you cause different effects. You might say, I continually think of creative ways to provide better service. How can you do more? How can you become a better provider? How can you give more from your heart? And as you give more, you receive more. That's how the universe operates. Every cause has its effect. Everything happens according to law. Forget about luck. Learn to live by law. When you put out positive, you will get positive back, but rarely right away. There is a law of psychological reciprocity. When you put negative out, you'll get negative back, and often it comes back faster. So rather than be caught by this law, you should use it. When someone gives you positive, give them positive right back. When someone sends you negative energy, step aside and let it keep going. You don't have to buy into or accept every negative thought and feeling and action. You can allow it to dissipate, to disappear, to go past you. You don't have to accept the negative. You can focus on positive. As you focus on positive energy, you feel better and you send out more positive energy and you attract more positive people, things, ideas, circumstances, everything that will fulfill the picture that you have in your mind of what you really want. Do you think about what you really want? Rather than focusing on what is, look at what you prefer. Maybe you draw pictures or research what you really want. But it starts in your mind. It starts with thought energy and then taking action from that feeling of what that would be like, creating out of nothing, creating a picture in your mind and then making it happen. This past week, I've been talking about The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. This was a book that my mentor, Bob Proctor, studied. And one of the important things that Wallace D. Wattles talks about is thinking, creating the results that you want, thinking and feeling and acting until the results that you want show up. And he tells us some basic facts. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made and which in its original state permeates, penetrates, and fills the interspaces of the universe. A thought in this substance produces the thing that is imaged by the thought. You can form things in your thought, and by impressing your thought upon formless substance, can cause the thing you think about to be created. In order to do this, you must pass from the competitive to the creative mind. You must form a clear mental picture of the things you want, and you must hold this picture in your thoughts with the fixed purpose to get what you want and the unwavering faith that you will get what you want, closing your mind against all that may tend to shake your purpose, dim your vision, or quench your faith. So you must live and act in a certain way, not in the past, but thinking about what you want and acting in the present. Closing your mind to all that may tend to shake your purpose, dim your vision, or quench your faith. So don't worry about how what you want could possibly happen. You just think about what it looks like, what it feels like, what you really want. And then, as you're visualizing, as you're spending time getting into that vibrational energy, visualizing it as already complete, how would you be feeling? What would you be doing if you were living the way you want to be living? Maintaining a balanced diet and having ideal mental and physical health, maintaining close contact with loving and meaningful relationships, treating everyone with the utmost respect, finding good in everyone, continually thinking of creative ways to provide better service and having material wealth flow into your experience. Maybe you want to travel in luxury. Maybe you want to see the world. Maybe you want to live in a bigger, more luxurious home. Maybe you want to shower your loved ones with beautiful gifts or take them on vacations or renovate your local church, provide more to the food bank or eliminate homelessness. Whatever you want is available, but you have to see it as already done. Visualize what it would be when it becomes physical reality. Take a deep breath in and allow yourself to relax into the picture of who you are now that your vision has come true. Do you have a vision of your ideal life, how you want to be living, where you want to go, purposeful work that you want to be doing that makes a difference in this world? Are you getting clear on a beautiful picture of your heart's desire? Wallace Waddles says, even though you can cause your riches to come out of the formless substance which permeates all of your environment, it does not follow that your fortune will immediately take shape from the atmosphere and come into being before your eyes. He suggests if you want a sewing machine, for instance, that before you impress the thought of a sewing machine on the thinking substance, you first make sure the image of the machine is clearly formed in your mind. If you want a sewing machine, hold the mental image of it with the most positive certainty that it is being made or it's on its way to you. After once forming the thought, have the most absolute and unquestioning faith that the sewing machine is coming. Never think of it or speak of it without feeling confident that it will arrive. Claim it as already yours. It will be brought to you by the power of the supreme intelligence acting upon the mind of mankind. If you live in Maine, it may be that a person will be brought from Texas or Japan to engage in some transaction which will result in your getting what you want. If so, the whole matter will be as much to that person's advantage as it is to yours. Do not forget for a moment that the thinking substance is in everything, communicating with everything, and able to influence everything. The desire of the thinking substance for more life and better living has caused the creation of all the sewing machines that have ever been made, and it can cause the creation of millions more. It will do so whenever people set it in motion by desire and faith and acting in the certain way. You can certainly have a sewing machine in your house. You can have anything you want, as long as you use it for the advancement of your own life and the lives of others. You need not hesitate about asking largely. Jesus said it is your Father's pleasure to give you the kingdom. The original substance wants to live as much as possible in you. It wants to have all that you can or will use for the living of the most abundant life. Your faith becomes invincible if you fix upon your consciousness the fact that the desire you feel for whatever your vision is, riches, relationships, health, it's one with the desire of the supreme power for more complete expression. You can have it all. You can be healthy and happy and wealthy, but you have to see it in your mind, believe that it's possible, and know that it's available to everyone, including you. I love reading this section of The Science of Getting Rich, and it just proves that everything happens through the law of cause and effect. I have a client who loves to sew and to make quilts and to do things with her hands. And she wanted a really good long arm sewing machine so she could make beautiful big quilts. And she thought about it, she visualized it, she felt what her life would be like when she had the ease of a long arm sewing machine instead of using a bulky one and having the frustration of trying to make a big quilt with a small machine. She thought about it. She felt as if she practiced visualizing, and she just kept imagining and going on with her sewing and going on with thinking positive thoughts and acting and being happy and feeling well and having faith and studying, gaining knowledge, studying the law of cause and effect, focusing on visualizing, focusing on sending out positive energy, practicing becoming aware when she wasn't feeling good and switching her mindset. And she found a long arm sewing machine. And when she went to buy it, it was sold to someone else. So she was a bit disappointed, but she didn't give up. She kept imagining. And then the opportunity came along, and she was able to purchase a more deluxe version, a brand new long arm sewing machine with all kinds of computer programs that with a touch of a button could do what it would take hours for her to do in the past. It took believing that it was possible, believing that she was worthy, believing that, and knowing that everything starts in your mind. Every cause has its effect. Every effect its cause. There is no such thing as chance. Sometimes it feels like coincidence, sometimes it feels like a miracle, but everything happens according to law. Nothing in the entire universe ever happens unless it occurs according to law. Focus on the results that you want. Turn your attention away from what you don't want, the things in your past that cause you to be angry or anxious. Focus on feeling well-being, feeling positive, imagining a beautiful picture of what you truly desire. And use affirmations or mantras. I maintain a balanced diet and exercise mentally and physically every day. I maintain close contact with all my loving and meaningful relationships. I treat everyone with the utmost respect. I find good. I continually think of creative ways to provide better service. I am healthy, happy, wealthy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Whatever it is that you truly desire, write it out as if it's already done. Put it on a little card and carry it with you to remind yourself this is who you truly are. This is meant for you. And get into that state of being that, feeling at ease, and then taking action. The energy that you put out is what comes back to you. Thinking, feeling, acting. Think, feel, and act the way you would once your goal is attained, once you are living the way you want to be living, once that dream has been fulfilled. How would you be living? What would you be doing? Who are you now that your goal has come into physical reality? Every cause has its effect. Everything happens according to law. Think about it, write about it, go out and do something about it, and watch how your life changes. Create a wonderful day. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning on Monday morning at 7. Thank you.